Good. Okay. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your patience tonight. I welcome you to the special meeting of Council on Thursday, the 10th of August, 2023. I'd like to start by acknowledging the Kaurna people as the traditional owners, custodians of the land. City of Prospect acknowledge that we are on the traditional country of the Kaurna people of the Adelaide Plains region, and we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. We acknowledge and respect their cultural heritage, beliefs, and relationships with the land, and we acknowledge that they are of continuing importance to the Kaurna people today. And the Council pledge: we seek wisdom and understanding as we face the duties of our united task, praying for the peace and prosperity of our city. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, on leave we have new apologies. We have Mayor Larwood, Councillor Barnett, and Councillor Rebecca. Declarations by members of the conflict of interest. Are there any? I need to declare one conflict of interest, 5.2. You would have seen St John Ambulance is receiving a rate rebate. I've got advice that I'll continue to chair the meeting because I don't have a casting vote tonight. There is an odd number of people here in terms of councillors. So unless someone's out of the room when we come to the vote, I won't need to vote. However, if there is the need for me to vote, I'll need to declare a conflict at that point, leave the room and get someone else to chair that component of the meeting. So let's get stuck into it. 5.1. Reports for decision, annual business plan and budget 2023-24, adoption and declaration of rates. There is a slight amendment. Three slight amendments. They are on the screen behind us, behind me, in front of you. So you can see there in recommendation 4, recommendation 5. Trust me. What? No, we'll wait till we get it up so you know what you're doing.
No switch to flick on, should be on.
Let it plug into the brick.
Is this one on? This.
It is on, but it's just not. It's not come out.
Look. Perhaps I'm giving you power.
These are what am I? So maybe I'll take you through the changes. They are quite minor, just while we're getting it back on the screen, which looks like it's about to happen. So for recommendation 4, after the words as presented in attachment 1 bracket, there's a comma with minor adjustments. For recommendation 5, after attachment 2 bracket, there's a comma. Sorry, I was trying to read the sorry. Okay. Allowing the CEO to make minor adjustments. And then the third adjustment is in recommendation 10, part D, after other, a rate of 0.568798 cents in the dollar. So you can see there are rather minor changes. So if you're comfortable, we're about to go on the screen anyway after all that. I'll ask somebody to move the motion. Councillor Nelson, would you like to speak to it?
Yes, very happy to. Obviously, my first budget. It's been a really good learning curve, I think, for myself and a number of other councillors. I have a new understanding and appreciation for the finances of the council. It's been enlightening. I can certainly appreciate how residents can jump to conclusions that we haven't done things or that services aren't being provided. But I'm proud of the budget that we put together. Very happy we were able to keep the increase relatively low. And I say this as I look at what's happening in the building industry and what's happening all around us. With the cost of, or the rises in building materials, including bitumen, concrete pavers, salaries, I think that what we've done here has been very, very good. Although our costs have continued to escalate, the savings that we have made or have allowed us to keep the rate rise relatively low. Couple this with this once in a lifetime purchase of the land, which I'm very, very proud of and very, very excited of. It's an investment and in time generating income for Prospect Council with a view to lessen our reliance on residential rates to fund city works. So excited for this.
Thank you, councillor Nelson. Someone second, please. Councillor Nguyen.
Yep.
Twin.
So this is my 5th time being involved in the council budget process, and this one is not easy as well. I'm really excited about the strategic and forward-thinking decision of this council, in particular with the purchase of the block of land on Maynooth Road. This asset will create additional community spaces for all, bringing communities together, alleviate some of the financial pressures of residents in the later years, and it will change the look and feel of this section of Maynooth Road. And this has been on the agenda of the previous council, and now we have an opportunity to change the space. While there are certain segments of the community that are dissatisfied with the decision, I truly believe many people in our community, including our local sporting organisations and the future generations of Prospect, will appreciate this historic investment decision of the council. Through the various communication channels with the community over the past few months, we have tried to capture the sentiments of the community as reflected in the draft annual business plan. We heard from our residents that street cleaning and maintenance, as well as environmental sustainability initiatives, traffic management, heritage and community programs are important to them. But we also heard from people in our community that do not support the rate rise. The reality is there are people in our community struggling to keep up with the cost of living pressures and inflation. The 12 or so interest rate hikes over the last 12 months have greatly affected people, especially those on a fixed income. While we sit here and make decisions about the budget, about budget allocation and rate setting, there are genuine people in our community making decisions about whether they can afford to turn on the power, buy food, buy medication, or pay bills. Rate increases are never pleasant and unfortunately unavoidable in this climate. Nevertheless, I will support this budget. I strongly encourage people who are experiencing financial hardship to reach out to the council and speak to staff to explore different payment options to help them get through this. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge the CEO for his leadership and all the staff who have contributed and put in countless hours to delivering this budget. So well done.
Thank you, councillor. Well said. Anyone else like to speak to the motion? Councillor Standard.
I will, yeah. Same with me, it's my 5th budget. And they don't get any easier, and this one was certainly a doozy. When we go through this budget process, there's a lot of words that come up. Responsibility, transparency, there's obviously due diligence. Things like common sense, empathy, and respect. But one of the words that I think this budget has going for it is vision. And we could very well just tread water and stay in place and just do the things that we always do. But I think it's the job of elected members to actually move the paradigm forward, take the opportunities when they're there. If we do nothing, we get nothing. And I think one of the things that this budget does and what we've done is move the paradigm forward by purchasing a significant piece of land that is an investment. People say you've bought, there was one group that said we bought a vanity project. We didn't, we bought an investment. We invested in the future, and that is the job of elected members, to invest, see what can be done and have vision and invest in the future of the community. And I believe that that's what we've done. But I do believe that we've had empathy for people who are doing it tough. And I'm by no means am I minted. So I get that. We've shown common sense. We've unfortunately had to cut things and go through a list of things that get in and get out. We have to show common sense in that. of course, we've had the due diligence. I'm always amazed at Ginny and her team, the detail that they put into this and the way that they constantly can explain it to people. I'm not a financial wizard. I have to have things explained to me very, very simply to understand. And Ginny and her team can do that so that we can understand and we can make the right decisions. I also believe there's a lot of transparency in everything we do. We've never tried to hide anything. It's all out there. If anybody wants to go through and have a look, it's all there. And lastly, we have responsibility. We have a responsibility to deliver a budget, but we also have a responsibility to deliver services, but also deliver a future for the people of Prospect. I think it's fantastic. And I'm glad that we've done the things that we've done in this budget to move the vision of Prospect forward.
Thank you, councillor. Anyone else? If that helps.
Look, we're in high inflationary times and it was always going to be difficult. I think, you know, we want to maintain all our services. We want our key initiatives met. You know, we've added a few extra things. We've got a thematic analysis happening. We've got the purchase of Maynooth Road. So it was always going to be a difficult balancing act, I think, to keep that rate level down and pretty well much deliver everything we want to deliver. And we've maintained the rate under the CPI, which is, I think, a good result. Rates, I think this is my first budget too. Look, we're all ratepayers here and we want to do the right thing by everyone. I think there's just pressure on everyone at the moment. There's outside influences like your fuel, your electricity. So we've got to be mindful of the pressures people are under, but overall we're feeling the pinch too here. If we deliver our services, we're going to, you know, obviously be impacted as well. But I think we've actually balanced things quite well and, you know, we're still able to, people still expect us to deliver that service. And I don't think too much is being impacted on what we can deliver. And I think the quality is there, the value is still there. And I think the rates are below what a lot of people have been able to, a lot of councils have not been able to deliver what we have. I think we've done a good job and I think the councils, Ginny and her team, everyone in fact, has done a great job at doing what they've done.
Thank you, councillor.
Yeah.
Anyone else? No, if not, I might just make a couple of comments from the chair. I want to say a couple of things. One was that this has been a well consulted budget. So this is actually my 13th. And if Councillor Barnett was here, it would have been her 31st. And so hats off to her. She's seen many more than me, but I've seen 13. And this, as said by others, is certainly the hardest budget we've had. It's also one of the most exciting budget we've had because we are building something for the future. And I think that is really exciting. But we've also had a couple of goes of consultation. We've listened to what the community says. And as the report says, we've made adjustments as a result of those community feedback and community consultation processes. A reminder that the average residential rate increase is 6.1%. That's $2.42 a week. And as Councillor Holbert said, this is under inflation. So we've delivered a budget under inflation, but filled with things to do. And I think that is a remarkable outcome of that we've done that under inflation. Go and buy a dozen eggs or some bread in the supermarket, that goes up by inflation plus a whole lot more. Go get a builder, go get a gardener, buy a new car. So we've delivered under inflation, which I think is something that we should be very, very proud of. The rate of the dollar has also gone down. It's been going down. I think that also shows fiscal responsibility for council and responsibility to make sure we are doing the right thing for our community. Councillor Standen mentioned transparency, and I think that's a really important factor in this as well. And in this paper is the feedback from the consultation processes. We've heard exactly what people have been saying to us. Those that made written submissions are in there, and I think that's a really important part of our budget process, but also reflects that there is a differing view on our budget this year. And I think there's a different view on all 13 budgets that I've been part of. This is no different. And so it is important though that we reflect all the views in our consideration. There's a lot been said about Maynooth Road. That's clearly one of the biggest parts of our budget this year. But there's a whole lot of other things we're doing, and I just want to mention some of them. So we're maintaining our core events program. So we're doing lots of things in the community for the community. We've got Spring Fair, Twilights, Fringe, and limited street closures for community street events as well. So we're still doing things in our community. We've maintained that. We've got a festive community program for Christmas as well, which is really important. It's something that our community loves each year. We're expanding the Prospect Men's Shed. We're giving them a better space to work and creating that real sense of community in Nailsworth. In terms of communication, we're continuing our Your Prospect magazine, and we're doing a lot of work on that at the moment, as we all know, but we're continuing that as a mechanism to communicate with our community, and that's something that could easily be cut and save several tens of thousands of dollars, but we didn't. Open space strategies, we've got RO Pash Reserve upgrade. That's going to be a massive upgrade in that part of our city. We're also doing the St Helens Park Rotunda. We heard very strongly from the community about the love for the Rotunda. It's costing us more than we would like, absolutely, but we're maintaining that piece of heritage in our community, and something that was asked for by many, many residents, I know, to me and to other people in the room here as well. The Village Hub Marketing Fund, we've expanded the zone, we've been more inclusive in that, and giving that money back to the traders to do what they want to do with it. And I think that's a really novel thing that we do in the City of Prospect, to give that authority to the traders to work out how to spend that money and how to increase the foot traffic and increase their activity from a small business perspective. And we're also having, I guess, more salaries and to support that work as well in the City of Prospect, and that's really, really vital. Almost done. Integrated transport strategy. I've been going on about this for years and years and years. I think it's even before our children, and it's just fantastic that we've actually put some money, where our mouth is with this, and we're actually going to do some stuff this year. $182,000 to help support better traffic management in the City of Prospect. Fantastic. We've got the waste diversion trial. Trying green bins every week. What a novelty. We've talked about this for years and years. We're now doing that. It's fantastic. And the Green Tunnel program, which is something that we have been doing again for a long time. But we want to maintain that sense of reducing the heat in our streets and creating that green tunnel and putting extra effort into that this year. The Broadview Sports Ground upgrade, we'll obviously continue with that piece of work, really important for those in the east of the city, and I think a project which we'll be very, very proud of. We go through the list of capital works programs, the footpaths, the curbs and gutters, the road resilience reconstructions. There's a heat in there across the city, which is also a really important part of what we do, and we shouldn't forget that. The other thing is we heard very clearly that galleries, when they come and listen to us speak at council, don't hear us very well. So in the budget is an upgrade of this room in terms of the AV. I think we've all been in those meetings where people are struggling to hear us. I think that's a great part, again, of transparency of what we do. Someone in the gallery can actually understand what's going on. We haven't any tonight, but we do have big galleries at times, depending on what we're doing. Of course, then there's also the purchase of Main North Road. I think it's a win for us. It's a win for our city. It's a strategic project and something that we are doing for the future. Just as people before us did things and made decisions and spent money for us, that we're enjoying now. So I don't see this as being a here and now project. I see this as a generational project, that in 10, 15, 20 years time, there'll be something great and magnificent there. And that's great for the community who are living there right then. We won't necessarily be around the table by that point. But for us, it's an infrastructure for the community. It's an infrastructure for the future as well. It's really, really important to do that. And it's not an easy decision. And to Councillor Wynn's point around people are struggling, people are absolutely struggling. A good time to remind people there are options around your rates. If you are struggling, you can defer your rates. And we welcome that in the City of Prospect to make sure that people who are struggling have those opportunities. But how exciting that we've got what we've got and the opportunity that presents itself with that purchase. I just want to absolutely commend the budget to the elected members here. I don't get a vote tonight, unfortunately. I think this is the first time I've not voted on budget. I've always voted for the budget, but absolutely commend it. I do want to just point out, particularly as others have done, the CEO, the executive team, and particularly the director of City and Corporate and the finance manager, who live and breathe this, particularly when we throw curveballs at you from time to time. But just a big thank you. I know just a bit of what goes into this, and I can see the stress and the angst and the hard work and the accuracy that goes into it. So I just want to say thank you, and also to the leadership of the CEO that's brought this to us. So thank you. Last opportunity if anyone else wants to speak. If not, I'll hand back to Councillor Nelson.
I had a nice summary here, but after everyone else has spoken, and particularly Councillor Nguyen, I can't top any of that, but I would like to reiterate Deputy Mayor Group just with the executive team. It was a phenomenal effort. In the end, we had to go through 2 consultations and 2 rounds of the budgets and two public forums and everything else. So the work that you guys have put in has just been absolutely phenomenal. So thank you very, very much. Obviously recommend we all carry the budget.
Thank you. I'm not planning to take it in parts unless anyone wants me to. There's 10 of them, 14 of them. All those in favour? Those against, it's carried unanimously. Well done. Congratulations, staff, and congratulations. 5.2 discretionary rate rebates. As I mentioned, I will declare I'll continue in the chair as I don't get a vote, assuming no one leaves. Someone to move that recommendation, please. Councillor Stanton. Would you like to speak to it?
No, I think we should just move it on.
Someone to second, please. Councillor Wynne.
Happy to support it.
Anyone else like to speak to the motion? Not Councillor Stand, up to you to sum up.
Summed up.
All those in favour? Those against, it's carried unanimously. 5.3 discretionary rate rebates village art. Again, look for a mover. Thank you, Councillor Stanton. Would you like to speak to it?
No, thank you.
Someone to second. Thank you, Councillor Nelson. Would you like to speak to it?
That's fine.
No other speakers, Councillor Stanton.
So summed up.
All those in favour? Those against, it's carried. Carried unanimously, sorry, yes. Good point, thank you. Members of Governments. Reports of information, 6.1, CEO Statement of Financial Sustainability, the recommendations there. But need again someone to move this, please. Councillor Nelson.
No, I think it's fine. Thank you, CEO,
No, sorry, I interrupted you. Keep going.
Thank you, CEO, for the summary. Exceptional. Well done. Sorry about that. Sorry, Dave. All good. Rectified that.
Someone to second. Councillor Stanton. Anyone else? Councillor Nelson, would you like to sum yourself up?
Summed up.
All those in favour? Those against? Carried unanimously. I'll call for other business and keep us here for another half an hour if you like, but I won't. Because Councillor Newman just gave me those eyes. Meeting closed at 9:40 PM. Thank you very much.
Thank you all, appreciate it. And also, I think it's worth pointing out, obviously the finance team did the bulk of the work here. There's a huge amount of work in the capital workspace as well, Sam and Amir in particular, I think. A lot of work there. And obviously, you know, every director and their management teams put a lot of work into it. So
Well done.
Roller coaster.
yep, lots of work and good outcomes. So thank you, members. Good year ahead of us.
Thank you. I really appreciate you just sitting in silence for 15 minutes.